My name on Skype is Art dot, remember the dot, Art dot Bell, B-E-L-L. And that's it, 51. Got that, 51. Art dot Bell, 51. And then you call me on Skype. You can even do it from handheld phones. And it'll probably sound better than, cell phone lines. So if you're outside the country somewhere and you want to call, start now. All right, there was an earthquake in the Philippines last night when we were on the air. It was rough. Very rough. 7.2 or 4 or whatever, depending on whose scale you're looking at. It was in the whole Cebu area, and there was a lot of damage. A lot of old churches went down in this earthquake, and it was close to my wife's family, but they're okay. I mean, relatively close, if you look at the Philippines. Almost moved to Cebu, so I sit here wondering if I had done that, whether my house would be down all around me right now. Those poor people. And poor us, too. Our government is shut down. They're threatening now not to pay the money we owe to the people we owe it to, the Chinese and others, and that'd be really bad news for the Chinese and us. And a lot of other people, and it actually would be a financial disaster. Don't raise the debt ceiling. Default is what it's called, and it's horrible. Horrible. Getting awful damn close now. They're really playing with fire over there. Playing with fire, I think. Well, Jim, after you described them that way, when you first described them, I thought, hey, why not just haul back, make a fist and knock one of these things clean across the room, because they're little. They're 4 feet. I mean, so have at them. But the way you describe them and what they can do,
know me, I know you. You can't hide nothing from me. I can't hide anything from you, and nobody's hurting each other in that case. So I mean, if the Gray was sitting there smiling at you after reading your mind, kind of like, man, I know what you did last summer. Yep, and I know what you did.
Holy moly, that's kind of worrisome, Jim. If it was a reoccurring dream. I sometimes have reoccurring dreams, and other people do too. They're not exactly normal, but now you've scared me, because if I began having a reoccurring dream about this after hearing you, I don't know.
Well, it started, to me, I thought it was a dream, and it wasn't a dream, and it led into the abduction scenarios, but then everything has been face-to-face and in the flesh, where it's not dreamlike at all. But in the beginning, they were gentle with me. Mm-hmm. And one thing, that I've learned over the years is you got to get over your fears. You're going to be afraid. There's no doubt about it, because it's so different. But, you always keep in your mind, they're not going to kill you. They're not going to hurt you. And that's the stand I always took, because I always came back in one piece fine, except I was traumatized in those early years. I'm sure
you were absolutely terrified, Jim. In other words, they were escorting you. That's bad enough. You've got these alien beings escorting you, and now they escort you through a window. If I can ask, what does it feel like to walk through a window or something solid?
You just keep going. I mean, this is like a natural thing. It's like it's a mist, like it's not even there. And then next thing you know, you're outside.
It almost sounds like when you are of assistance to them willingly, and you do help them, they let you go. When you either kick them or object in some way to what they're doing or don't follow directions, you black out.
So yeah, for whatever reasons that they have me black out that way, but
his abductions actually began in '88, and I've done a number of interviews with him. He is riveting. At that time, he was living in Houston, working on as a successful land developer. He was good. He didn't have to become an abductee. Initially, an unwilling abductee, in fact. His experiences transformed once he was able to put aside the rage, and there'd be a lot of that, right, if you were abducted. And he overcame his fear. He began to understand he was encountering highly intelligent, advanced beings from other worlds. Jim had been completely conscious of his face-to-face experiences. Lucky for us, or he wouldn't be able to tell us about them, right? Giving him clear memories, amazing insight. In the last 2 decades that he's been dealing with ETs, he's witnessed amazing sciences. He knows there's a plan to elevate ourselves to better understand what these beings are about, so we all might evolve. Today he realizes all of us, including him, are not alone. Many others have gone through similar experiences. Whether fortunate or unfortunate, he differs from most abductees in that he has total recall of his experiences with these beings from other regions and dimensions of time and space. His goal is to explain the agenda of these beings and the message they bring to humanity. Jim is coming to us all the way from Australia, we hope. Jim, welcome to the program if you're there.
Hey, Art, it's great to be here.
Wow, not a half-bad connection.
No, not too bad at all from the distance, huh?
Where are you in Australia?
I'm just outside Perth.
So that puts you, I wonder how many miles. I bet about 10,000 miles away from me.
Yeah, anywhere from 7,000 to 10,000, depending on where you're at in the States, sure.
All right, you know what? You probably didn't hear it in the beginning of the show, Jim, but we're on Sirius XM now. Now, Sirius XM has like 27 million subscribers. So a whole bunch of loyal people have come over, who are my listeners, Jim, but then we've got these like 27 million people, many of whom are hearing this show for the first time, and they never heard you, and they never heard your story. So, we're going to have to start from the beginning if we can.
Yeah, sure, that'd be fine.
All right, so before 1988, you were just in business, a family guy. You were not a ufologist. You weren't following UFOs. You weren't even interested, right?
Yeah, I had no interest in the subject whatsoever. None whatsoever. Except, like anybody else would. I mean, the UFO I thought was possible. And, I never thought there were occupants, and I didn't give it a lot of thought at that time at all.
Take me, if you would, please, to the first thing that happened to you. I mean, how it began.
Well, what attributes them to be so difficult to understand. And when the beginning, which is important that we go to the beginning, definitely in the early stages, because it makes more sense as we go along. And
okay.
But there's something about them. There's something about the human condition that I would just like to go over with first, before we get into the beginning stages of what had happened, that make it so difficult for us to understand them and to be what they are. And so some of these things that I'll go over, you can probably see why it's that way.
Okay.
When you think about it, we're 90%, better than 90% of my interaction has been with what are commonly referred to as grays. And I've got, nearly 100%, if not 100% total recall, as you mentioned earlier. All the experiences have been face-to-face.
There are not people on our channel, 104, that know what a gray is. Would you describe for my audience, as best as you can, a gray?
Sure. It's a species, it's a non-human, intelligent, living being from another world. Where it may be, I can't be certain, but there's a species known as grays. And there's two types. There's the ones that are about 3.5 feet tall. And
I'm being honest with you. If I saw a creature like that, I don't know about you, perhaps all the rest of you are considering along with me. But if I saw a creature like that, so-called shadow person, straight on, and then it floated across the floor, I would be so gone.